Welcome to this video on performing effective gap analysis. After watching this video, you will be able to define gap analysis and understand its purpose in business contexts. You will recognize its importance in identifying discrepancies between current and desired performance levels and outline the key steps involved in performing a gap analysis. Additionally, you will discuss the activities associated with each step of the gap analysis process. Imagine navigating a project and then hitting some roadblocks that prevent you from achieving the desired result. You may feel like you are making progress, yet something seems off. Ever wondered what's causing that disconnect? This is where gap analysis comes in. Think of it as your project's GPS, which identifies the differences between where you are and where you want to be. Gap analysis is an essential tool in business analysis that helps you compare your current situation with your desired future outcome, enabling you to develop effective strategies to bridge the gaps. Think of a mid-sized company facing declining customer satisfaction, even though it is meeting its sales targets. By conducting a gap analysis, the company can figure out a disconnect between customer expectations and their service delivery. This insight enables amending the processes, training the staff, and enhancing customer loyalty, which eventually boosts long-term growth. Gap analysis is a key component in strategic planning, process improvement, resource allocation, risk management, and performance measurement. Gap analysis aids in strategic planning by aligning your current capabilities with long-term goals and helping you identify necessary changes to achieve desired outcomes. In terms of process improvement, it identifies inefficiencies and bottlenecks, streamlining operations and boosting productivity. Further, it highlights areas needing attention for resource allocation, enabling you to direct investments towards the most impactful areas. It also helps you anticipate potential risks and develop mitigation strategies. Additionally, it sets performance benchmarks, allowing you to define specific goals and track progress over time. Conducting a gap analysis entails several key steps, including defining the current state and the desired future state, identifying the gaps, developing an action plan, implementing the action plan, and evaluating and reviewing the outcomes. Let's review each of these steps in detail, discussing the key activities under each step. The first step in gap analysis is to define the current state of the organization, process, or system by gathering data on its existing operations. Key activities include process mapping, data collection, and stakeholder interviews. Process mapping documents existing workflows, processes, and systems to understand how they function. Data collection gathers quantitative and qualitative data reflecting current performance levels, customer satisfaction, and financial metrics. Stakeholder interviews provide insights into the current state's strengths and weaknesses, ensuring a comprehensive understanding of the present situation before proceeding to the next steps in the gap analysis. After defining the current state, the next step in gap analysis is to define the desired future state by setting clear objectives and goals. Key activities include goal setting, benchmarking, and visioning. Goal setting involves creating SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound to define desired outcomes. Benchmarking compares an organization's current performance against industry standards and best practices, helping to set realistic targets. Visioning ensures alignment with strategic objectives by collaborating with stakeholders to create a shared vision of the future state, ensuring everyone is working towards the same goal. Once the current and future states are defined, the next step is to pinpoint the gaps between them. This involves analyzing the differences and understanding what is preventing the organization from achieving its goals. Key activities include gap identification, root cause analysis, and prioritization. Gap identification compares the current and future states to highlight areas needing improvement. Root cause analysis explores the underlying cause of these gaps to understand why they exist and what factors contribute to them. Prioritization ranks the gaps based on their impact, urgency, and the resources required to address them, ensuring that the most critical issues are tackled first. After identifying and prioritizing the gaps, the next step is to develop an action plan to address them and achieve the desired future state. Key activities include action planning, resource allocation, and setting a timeline with milestones. Action planning involves outlining specific initiatives to close the gaps, each linked to a defined goal. Resource allocation ensures that the necessary budget, personnel, and technology are in place to support the plan. Finally, a timeline and milestones establish a timeline for implementing the action plan to track progress and ensure timely completion. With the action plan established, the next step is to implement the initiatives designed to close the gaps. This includes project management, change management, and monitoring and adjustments. Project management ensures the timely and budget-friendly execution of the plan. Change management engages stakeholders and guides the transition from the current state to the desired future state. Monitoring and adjustments track progress, resolve challenges, and adjust the plan as needed to adapt to evolving business conditions, ensuring the initiatives stay on track to achieve the desired outcomes. The final step in the gap analysis is to evaluate and review the effectiveness of the action plan and its initiatives. This involves performance measurement, feedback and learning, and continuous improvement. Performance measurement assesses the results against set goals to determine if the gaps have been closed. Feedback and learning gather input from stakeholders to evaluate the success of the initiatives and identify lessons for future improvement. Continuous improvement uses these insights to make necessary adjustments, ensuring ongoing enhancement of processes and performance, and further aligning the organization with its desired outcomes. In this video, you learn that gap analysis is a strategic tool for assessing the difference between an organization's current state and its desired future state. It is vital for strategic planning, process improvement, resource allocation, risk management, and performance measurement. You also explored the steps involved in gap analysis. First, gather data to define the current state. Next, set clear goals to define the desired future state. Then, compare the two states to identify gaps and areas needing improvement. Develop an action plan specifying actions, resources, and timelines. Implement initiatives to close the gaps. And finally, evaluate and review the outcomes to ensure goals are met and make adjustments as needed.